futures are nourished. They can connect with the world around them, unlock endless possibilities, and thrive. Join the movement to end hunger. Volunteer. Advocate. Donate. Go to feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Whether it's our stories, the warmth of our laugh, or our family's secret sauce, we all bring something different to the table. So make some space. The power of connection is waiting right outside your comfort zone. Learn how you can help strengthen your community at belongingbeginswithus.org/teamup.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Not turning on my mic. Boss will get on to that guy about that. Thank you for joining us for Mississippi Live Weather at 6 o'clock. What we had a moment ago there was some video from Cali up in northwest Mississippi, up in DeSoto County. You know, there have been some flash flood warnings actually in the far northwest part of the state. We'll look at the storms related to that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. It's the area of the state where we've had the most thunderstorms. Our Futurecast did a pretty good job of capturing that yesterday. We'll show you how that compares for the rain chances tomorrow. So heavy rainfall, northwest Mississippi in particular. I think there are better rain chances by Sunday for a lot of locations, though even then it remains fairly spotty through the extended forecast. We're looking at the way far extended forecast next 2 weeks or so with our meteorologist Gabe Mainers. We dig into the tropics as well in a few minutes, and Mississippi Live is growing. You saw it at 5 o'clock. We'll introduce you once again to Caleb, who you've probably heard behind the scenes, but he is officially coming to join us here on Mississippi Live Weather starting tomorrow. So hopefully you'll be able to tune in and check out his debut tomorrow at 6 o'clock live. But this evening at 6, we're looking at still some spotty storms out there. Northwest part of the state, 10% might be underdoing that coverage just a little bit. I don't know that it's quite the 20% or so. We're 77 by 10 p.m. Most of the thunderstorms diminishing by later this evening. 74 by 1 o'clock in the morning. 73 by 4 a.m. And we're starting off around 73 to begin the first part of your Saturday morning under what will be, from time to time, some pretty hot temperatures again into the weekend. Right now in Pontotoc, looking toward the west, looking out west towards some of those thunderstorms. It's 90, feels like 95 degrees. Clouds not growing enough there to produce any precipitation there in Pontotoc County at this instant in time. And Amory, looking towards some thunderstorms there up into, in particular, Itawamba County that are a little stronger. The dark blues there, a sign that obviously there's a lot of heavy rainfall with this. We have not got a lot of strong reports of wind out of it, but unfortunately the folks down there in Monroe County, the radar site, not working. There's been some issues with the National Weather Service radar there the last week, honestly. It was back up briefly. It's back down again, unfortunately, so we've got to look all the way from Memphis. So this isn't our best possible look, but you can see we're not that far removed from some of those storms there in Amory, just only about 5 miles to the north and west by the radar site that we're looking at here. Looking at the 1 hour loop, this does show some moderate rainfall out of this. Nothing I think that's going to be overly strong. If we check out our threats on this, and in particular looking for wind and hail, things of that nature, it's all just mainly rainfall being detected on the latest scans on Mississippi Live Weather Radar as that is moving into your area. This is a stronger thunderstorm up here. We're looking very near, this would be Bay Springs Lake right there, south of Tishmingo State Park there, Kirkville, Marietta. This thunderstorm has really kind of spiked up since our 5 o'clock broadcast. You can see kind of building westward. And while we're not close enough to really get a good idea what's going on at surface level, it's highly likely, I'd say, that we have one of those rain-cooled outflow boundaries, kind of about there, that's kind of working its way back toward the south and west. So I think additional thunderstorms possible, Manatee, Dorsey, maybe even Saltillo or Tupelo within the next hour and a half or so. I know we needed it at our house. This is more heavy rainfall than anything else because we're only showing 13 strikes over the course of the last 30 minutes on this. Looking three-dimensionally on this thunderstorm here at kind of how high that precipitation is. It's not super tall. I'd say the precipitation looks only about 15,000 feet. So luckily below severe limits as it kind of works its way back toward the south and west there. So future track on this, our future cast, the high resolution one over the next hour. You can see between now and really about 7 o'clock or so, 7:30, doesn't have this moving much. I think it's underdoing probably that speed a little bit, but here's hoping it does hold together. Dorsey, Mantachie, Centerville, some of those locations. As we go back out west, watching one of those heavier thunderstorms, a little more movement on the camera here in Batesville. We're 81 degrees right now, feels like 84. Of course, that rain-cooled air kind of moving in as quite a few thunderstorms have kind of popped up there in Panola County. You still have some visibility back there toward the horizon, a sign that this doesn't have quite as heavy a rainfall as the one we were looking at just a moment ago there back into Itawamba County and really up there toward Prentiss County as well. So let's look at this. Again, I think our heaviest portion of this thunderstorm here, kind of between Sardis area back toward Oxford. We do show some lightning out of that. Lightning strikes on this batch, including the stuff back out there toward Jonestown and Lula and Sledge. We're looking at about 400 strikes over the last half hour. Again, putting this back in motion on Mississippi Live Weather Radar. You can see there's Batesville, and we're probably looking more into some of that lighter variety stuff, but there's some heavier showers, and I do think maybe right there we have that pink in the middle. Let's come in just a little bit closer here for a moment. This would be the Lafayette and Panola County line. That's where we have the greatest clustering of lightning strikes. I think it's possible we could get maybe a 40-mile-per-hour wind gust. I don't think we're quite the 60 or technically 58, which would qualify as a severe thunderstorm warning, but in the room-to-room weather center, we're tracking this again, moving toward Eureka Springs and Shufford there in the next few minutes. Again, I think Cortland, Pope, certainly heavier rainfall with this, but as far as severe weather, no tornadoes out of this, thankfully. That's not the way the atmosphere is structured this evening. We've had a lot of heavy rainfall up here towards Senatobia. We talked to our Maggie McCauley just a little bit ago, and certainly she has had some really, really heavy rain associated with there. Let's see if we can pull up that rainfall rate on some of these thunderstorms. When we show some of the brighter pinks on here, we'll go and level it off to right now. That's where we're getting a rainfall, not totals here, but rates that are up around 5 inches an hour. And so as I put that back into motion, the reason that's important is that's kind of that blinding rainfall. This is I-55, and that's the kind of stuff that's almost Florida rainfall rates. I do want to check and see how much rainfall they actually had up. Maggie's up there in Senatobia, and looking at 3-hour rainfall totals, you can see up there closer to Coldwater as we leave it on the last scan here. That's where, again, I'm not trying to make anybody jealous here, but I know we take some at our house. 3.7 inches there. Holly Springs, about 1.8 inches. North of Oxford, almost an inch, and closer to Taylor, about 0.8 of an inch, and out toward Lula, we're looking about an inch or so. So again, in spots, it has been some decent rainfall amounts. Again, that's in spots. Also a decent amount up there near that Prentiss County intersection between Tishmingo, Prentiss, and northern Itawamba counties, and does also show about 0.8 of an inch there north and east of Amory. So here's hoping the rainfall makes it to you. Certainly it's still largely an exception to the rule there. We do have the flash flood warning remaining in effect for Shelby County and up there into northern DeSoto County. That's in effect until 6:45. Haven't had a lot of reports of flash flooding in the last little bit out of this as those storms have largely moved out of there, so just kind of waiting for everything to subside. On the wider shot here, again, 1 or 2 showers also toward Lamar County, Alabama. I'll come in close here for just a moment. We'll put that into motion, see if that is building, and it is trying to build up a little bit, but again, I think it's on that same outflow boundary, so Caledonia, Aberdeen, we're hoping it goes beyond hoping as far as that's concerned. So much wider shot here, continuing to show up. The high pressure remains largely the story. We're kind of on the fringe of something more significant on that high back to the west of us, but it's breaking down. It's allowing more of the rainfall chances to kind of get into our area. And as the Futurecast shows here, again, with the absence of anything to really change things, it is the little features that are more dominant, and those are the things that are most difficult for us to nail down here. It does still show 10 o'clock, some isolated showers out there, so we might need to add that 10% to the 10 p.m. time period there on our hour by hour. But the thinking is most things falling apart by that point in time, and even across the region, just not a lot of moisture out there as we go throughout the overnight hours. Typically the case, certainly heavier rainfall amounts down closer to the coast, down toward New Orleans. Of course, rain chances are going to pick back up into tomorrow, but they'll think they'll still be fairly limited. We're going only around 10% on that coverage there. models, in particular our Futurecast, HRRR, the one we show you the most often, are not impressed largely by what we're looking at as far as rainfall amounts and coverage is concerned on your Saturday. They also maybe just ever so slightly underdid today. So that's just we're trying to figure out the bias on that. That's something we always evaluate in this situation. Certainly the pattern does get a little bit more rainy as we go into the latter part of the weekend. We're 87 by noontime on your Saturday, 92 by 3 p.m., feeling closer to 100 degrees. So yeah, those heat indices are back with rain chances peaking the latter part of the day. Now, tracking that weather for you tomorrow is going to be the newest member here of the Mississippi Live Weather team. You met him at 5 o'clock, and if you missed 5 o'clock, I want to introduce Caleb Edelblut, who is entering his senior year down at Mississippi State. I think he could hopefully be a long-term employee for us here at Mississippi Live Weather. That's why we're bringing on someone so young. But Caleb, you have been with us since basically the first week that we've been doing this behind the scenes. So not new, but new to folks at home.
Yes, sir. No, I've been blessed to be behind the scenes and just learning everything, and it's been amazing.
Well, you know that part of it pretty well, of course. Mississippi State known for its weather program. I'm going to be the only non-Mississippi State meteorologist, though certainly a connection to that program continue to build. What's it like to forecast the weather? Maybe a little nerve-wracking knowing that the folks at home are people you also grew up with, maybe?
Oh yeah, no, especially forecasting here where people are watching and the difference with forecasting and learning it all at state. But it's been a lot of fun, and I'm getting better at it every day and learning all the tips and tricks that they've been showing me. So it's been a great experience.
Well, we're excited to have you. He'll be handling weekend forecasts for us, especially in the sunny and clear days. Obviously, we rotate when severe weather comes in to make sure that we cover everything. But just very excited to have you on board, and thank you for joining us. Anything you want to tell folks at home?
I'm just excited.
Do we need to do a hi, Mom?
No, hi, Mom, hi, Dad, especially the brother and sister out there. But I'm excited to spend my weekends with you all, and I can't wait to get started tomorrow. Hey,
we're excited to have you. Hopefully it's a long partnership.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
In a good way. So also a couple things coming up tonight at 8:45. I'll be introducing the Spunk Monkeys out there at Romy's Grocery here in Tupelo. And then tomorrow morning, ringing the bell at the Farmers Depot in Tupelo to kick off the big farmers market tomorrow morning. So we'd love to see you either of those locations. Just come out and say hi, and we're looking forward to it for sure. So as we look ahead toward your forecast for the weekend, if those aren't places you're planning on going, we are going to have largely a pretty nice weekend as far as rainfall is concerned. We'll have some storms out there. You can even see some on the live camera there in the background. In 60 seconds, we'll look at where, again, the showers are now and looking toward where those rain chances are most likely this weekend as Mississippi Live Weather at 6 continues right after this.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. With early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
At Absolute Restoration, our team will feel magical since our focus is on serving you and your roofing needs. Finding a roofer who actually shows up and communicates, that's just one of the problems we solve by informing you of every step in the process.
Selling premium roofing systems backed by warranties and payment plans starting at just $99 per month. Trust Absolute Restoration to deliver.
Experience unicorn-level service and affordability from a team your community trusts. Call Absolute Restoration today.
Your family deserves the most beautiful smile possible. At Tupelo Smiles, we use precision dentistry and advanced technology to make visiting the dentist an amazing experience. Relationship-based comprehensive care. Come discover the difference at Tupelo Smiles.
Right now, from the Mississippi Live Weather Center, here's meteorologist Gabe Maynard.
Welcome back to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. We're taking a live look outside. We're actually going to start with the camera that does not want to be seen right now. But what we're seeing up there is that sunshine still beaming in the sky and warming up our atmosphere. 91 degrees, but feels like 97. So that humidity once again playing a factor. Those winds you see coming out of the southeast at about 10 miles an hour. Well, there's your source of moisture, and there's your source of humidity. Macon, same thing, 88 degrees, so a few degrees cooler, but feeling like 93. Plenty of blue skies and plenty of sunshine showing right in the middle of your screen. A great shot there and a perfect reason to get out and about. Probably not driving up to Tupelo to see us. We understand you're about 2 hours away. But if you want to just get out in the community, it's a perfect night to do that. Greenwood, 91 feels like 97. Still those winds coming out of the southeast, but this time with a little bit of cloud cover as a result. And so what we've been getting with that is a few of those pop-up showers and storms. A lot of that primarily northwest Mississippi, just along I-55, and the heavier sections still sticking around Highway 6 and I-55, pushing out there towards the Mississippi River, basically following that outflow boundary. You see that line on the side of your screen there towards Marianna and Forest City there in Arkansas. Well, that's producing a few more of those pop-up storms as we head into the 6:30 and 7 o'clock hour. And on top of that, another one of those outflow boundaries producing a few of those heavier showers, hopefully getting a few, at least sprinkles. We'll take sprinkles here in Lee County, but definitely taking anything we can get at this point, as it's been a very dry forecast. That flash flood warning is still in effect until 6:45 this evening for northern DeSoto County. That's where you saw that video at the top of the broadcast was from Callie, one of our weather watchers out in the field, just right there in the heart of that flash flood warning. And if you look at rainfall rates, you can see exactly why, because several of those areas, we're talking 3 or more inches in the heart of that storm, 1.7 on the south side there across the Tennessee state line, ½ inch there towards Horn Lake. And as we take a look, even on the east side, 2.4 inches towards Cordova in Tennessee, 1.7 closer to Olive Branch. And as we head further down that line, some of those higher rainfall totals that Matt was tracking in Hernando, close to Tate County, that was a heavy downpour, 3 to 4 inches over just a short time frame, probably just about 2-3 hours. So rainfall totals across the state, that's really the primary areas that we are watching for rain chances. But heading into the extended forecast, we're not talking about many more rain chances. 7 a.m., 73 degrees with plenty of sunshine. As the day goes on, cloud cover does build with a few pop-up showers, primarily going to be late hours of our Saturday, about 8, 9, 10 o'clock. That's what models are projecting as of this point. But still, as we head into this evening, isolated showers and storms do continue to be the story. Those fizzling out as we head into that 8, 9, and 10 o'clock hour. So going to see lessened rain chances. And really, if you are east of I-55, should I say east of Oxford, east of Bruce, you guys are going to have a much more drier forecast. It's really out west that we're watching for the highest rain chances. Into the overnight hours, well, rain chances completely disappear. We'll be seeing a drier forecast overnight, so don't even expect a rumble of thunder. Nevertheless, a drop of rainfall towards your Saturday morning, waking up and heading out the door. Dry conditions with plenty of sunshine. So it's going to be an enjoyable forecast. If you guys can get out and about, definitely recommend to do so. Again, you might get to see Matt ring a bell. I was hoping it was a cowbell, but we'll take what we can get at this point. He's got some maroon in his blood. But low temperatures, low 70s, a perfect start to the day. By the time we're ringing the bell, it's probably going to be about upper 70s, low 80s, still pretty comfortable forecast for this time of year. 7:30, you can see the sunshine dominating the forecast, and as we enter towards that 9, 10, 11 o'clock hour, well, that's going to still be the same story. Copy and pasted all morning long with all of the sunshine that we will be seeing. Those winds do still come out of the southeast, so it's still going to feel pretty muggy outside despite it being clear up in the sky. By noontime, that mugginess starts to transfer into a little bit of moisture in the sky. That moisture going to be those cumulus clouds popping up. And again, not seeing anything heightened for those rainfall chances. By the time we get towards that mid to late afternoon, still on the drier side, but some of those denser clouds start to move in south of Highway 82 and on the west side of our viewing area. So definitely going to be a slightly cloudier forecast during the afternoon than what we're getting by the morning. 6 p.m. still partly cloudy, and then we'll see those showers start to pop up beyond that point before those chances really dissolve on out overnight. High temperatures, though, that continues to be the story, is that we are climbing back into the low to mid 90s tomorrow afternoon. 97 Greenville, 94 Cleveland, 95 Clarksdale, and 94 over and around Tunica. Those same areas, talking about the triple digit for feels like values as you head out the door. So tomorrow afternoon will be essential to stay hydrated and stay cool as we head into any plans, especially if they are outdoors. Further out east, still going to be hot and humid, but not triple digits. We're talking mid to upper 90s. So Saturday evening, the brief isolated showers are definitely possible. You can see those just popping up, those little blips of green by 10, 11 o'clock, and then those chances really starting to diminish overnight and into the start of our Sunday. Commuting to church should be a perfect commute paired with plenty of sunshine. Pastors waking up early will have a great sunrise in store for you. And as we head about the rest of our Sunday into those lunch plans, partly cloudy skies is what we have highlighting our area. Now, I do want to say this model is very aggressive on the rainfall chances, but it does show that we're talking about 20 to 30% coverage on that. So not overly high, but definitely increased from what we've seen today, and especially what we'll see for our Saturday. That primarily going to be early to late afternoon for the threshold for those best rain chances, but into our Sunday evening, drier conditions move in place. So that overnight forecast, dry, and then during the afternoon, that's when you'll see those best rain chances for our weekend forecast. High temperatures still reaching the low to mid 90s, a few degrees cooler than what we're going to get for Saturday. A lot of that thanks to that rain cool there and that cloud cover. 88 Eupora, 89 Starkville, and 87 down there towards Louisville. So some areas better than others, but at least we're seeing some slightly cooler conditions. We'll take what we can get. But those feels like values, whether we're dropping or not, 102 in Clarksdale, 100 in Greenwood, 101 Cleveland and Greenville. So still going to be muggy, despite temperatures being pulled back a few degrees. But let's go ahead and talk about forecasted rainfall, because heading into our forecast on our Saturday, we're not overly high on those rain chances, but a few of those isolated cells that do develop could produce about 1/10 to maybe 2/10 of an inch of rainfall. I know it shows a couple hundredths right here, but this is the Weather Prediction Center's basically overall forecast for those showers. Shows you the chance of developing, but really those are going to be more isolated, so all of these are accumulated into 1 or 2 storms into our Saturday afternoon. By the time we get towards Sunday, there you see the increased rain chances coming in with probably, or we could get up to, yeah, honestly, we'll take it. And if this happens, this would be the best case scenario because everyone gets a drop of rain.
Oh my gosh, but I mean, come on, a drop. Here's the question. I mean, is that just steamy?
Probably, unfortunately. But, and we saw it on those heat indices. Yes, temperatures will be pulled back with a little bit of those rain chances, but those heat indices still coming into the triple digits. So it's still going to be hot. It's still going to be muggy. But hopefully, for Mrs. Lobhan's sake and also Miss Maynard's, we need some rainfall there at both of our households and all across North Mississippi at this point. So a few of those having some brief heavy downpours, 1/2 inch to 1 inch at tops. But Monday and Tuesday, that's our best threat for rainfall. Some of these showing 1/4 of an inch on the Weather Prediction Center's map. Wouldn't be surprised to see 1 inch, 2 inches out of a couple of these with those brief heavy downpours. Hey, we saw it today with that very limited coverage. Would not be impossible to get that for our Monday and Tuesday as well. Those rain chances do linger Thursday and Friday with 30% chance of coverage. So that typical summer pattern, we're not going to get widespread rain chances, but a few of those isolated storms, if they show up in the right spots, a few people will definitely be happy. And looking at that extended forecast, heat-wise, the rain chances really keep those temperatures at bay. Right around our seasonable average, 92 for Saturday and Sunday, 91 Monday and Tuesday, and then we start climbing towards next week. And I know those rain chances being there, you'd expect, well, it should be much cooler. Well, by the time we get towards Thursday, 93, 94 by Friday, shows how limited those rain chances are, and unfortunately, going to let that summer return in full vengeance because we've had too much of a break from it. So that's one of the things that we'll be walking through is the long-term precipitation outlook and also the long-term temperature outlook, just what to expect, how long does that heat stick around for, and when will Mother Nature bless us with rain and cooler air. Stay with us here in the next 60 here on Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest on that extended forecast.
As a nurse, I've seen a lot of people with sleep deprivation. It affects their job, their home life. At Room to Room, we want to take the guesswork out of buying a mattress, and that's why we brought in this technology. It shows you what you need. We want to do the assessment and find exactly what's perfect for you.
Here is your opportunity to add 2 beautiful guns to your collection and support scouting. Scan the QR code to purchase your chance to win a Browning Satori 725 Sporting Maple over and under 12 gauge shotgun, or a 75th anniversary Boy Scout commemorative Winchester Model 9422 rifle. Support the Natchez Trace Council Scouts with your raffle entries today.
Welcome back into Mississippi Live Weather. We track the hot conditions that are sticking around, but we also have the chance at a few showers heading into next week. Chief Meteorologist Matt Lobhan joining us right now to walk long-term. Matt, it's going to be a hot forecast, but typical summer fashion, right?
Absolutely. The thing to always keep in mind when we show this is comparison to normal, the 30-year average, which is one of those funny terms when we say normal. It's like, what's normal? Well, it's a mathematical term looking at the past 30 years of data. Mm-hmm. And so you can tell versus what we typically should see, not just warmer, but the majority of the nation looking that way.
Yeah, and the scale at the top of your screen kind of dictates that. So we are on the, if there is a such thing, the lower side of above average. So we're taking some blessing, but
or at least lower confidence level.
Exactly. And also what this shows is just that warming trend across the entire United States, like you were mentioning. But fortunately, some of those rain chances, we are going to see some slightly above average conditions there as well.
We're hoping to get some of that Gulf moisture. You know, that's part of that shift that we've been talking about.
Yes.
This is not our wet season at all, but this is typically when drought starts building. So it's no shock that we're getting there. Yeah, but unfortunately, that's where we're heading.
And I'm going to get in your brain here for a second.
Okay.
Last year,
interesting.
Last year, we were in much worse condition drought-wise at this time of year, correct?
Yes. Well, this is when it really picks up.
Yeah.
And has the last 3 years in a row. And I'm already starting to look at the large oak trees in our land and go, really hope we get some rain because we've lost some 80 to 100-year-old oaks the last couple of years because of the drought that we've had. And I know there's a couple that are stressed out, and now is probably the time to start watering those, maybe that extra bit, because it's probably coming.
Well, and severe weather season also kind of walks us through the significance that drought can have, because as those trees die, well, then you get those strong wind gusts in the fall and spring, and then that's easier to knock them over. And it usually takes about 2-3 years to really get the damage going to where they could fall over easily.
Yeah, you start knocking off limbs first, and yeah, it takes, I'm learning, it takes a little longer than I thought, especially if they were healthy trees to begin with here. It's just, even a healthy tree, when stressed to the max with the lack of rainfall, is going to have some issues.
Yeah, someone told me when I was getting my haircut today that the ground is just crunchy. And it's like, that's a great way to describe the weather we're experiencing right now. So a crunchy forecast, that's typical this time of year.
Yeah.
But getting anything above average, well, we'll take that. And looking even more long term, the next week following this is August 16th through 22nd, we're still talking above average. So the heat just unrelenting.
And it helps to bake out some of the rainfall that we have. Any of the moisture, you know, the trees, you'll notice the leaves start wilting down a little bit as they transpire less. That's the way in which they release moisture from their pores, or not pores, but stamen. Is that?
I don't want to answer because my science teacher wife is going to be upset.
I'm going to get in trouble. But anyway, that they release the moisture there from the leaves. So they start closing that up a little bit, but the heat trying to bake it out.
Yeah, and we also have a dominant high pressure system here that models are projecting really going to be along the southeastern part of the United States. Now, we're 2 weeks away, so a lot of that's still up in the air. Literally high pressure in there. Funny weather stuff.
Fun nerd stuff. Okay, what else we got?
We do have the precipitation outlook for the same time frame, and unfortunately those drier conditions pushing in as well.
But you know, it's a reminder that, again, the odds are good that it's going to be near normal for this time of year, which is not a lot.
Yeah, near normal is still very diminished. So water your plants. That's basically what we're saying over the next 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
And we also talk about tropical development. This is updated since the last time we showed it.
So a couple areas out there in the Atlantic that the folks are watching with the National Hurricane Center over the next 7 days. Let's go ahead and we'll advance through a couple of these here.
Yeah, well, the first disturbance has since dissolved away, but this one that we're watching, and I'm blocking it right now, but 40% chance of development in that mid-Atlantic right there. But you might notice the track, and this is one that Matt and I tracked about, 5 days ago, and it had it going into the Gulf. Well, hey,
and we said it probably wouldn't. Let's be crystal clear.
Exactly. And so that fear mongering that you might see on the internet, well, fortunately, all of that was just a hoax at this point because it didn't verify a lot of this.
Not a hoax. It's to keep in mind a model is using math, and then
models just shift this far out, and it's
that's
going to
why
change.
we don't usually show them.
Exactly.
That's why we didn't show it getting all the way to the Gulf.
That's true. That's true. So this one's staying in the Atlantic, so fortunately not going to be impactful. And Caleb, I'm going to have you expand this just a bit and move it further to the south because there's a new tropical development. Again, these chances don't apply to it, but we are watching this tropical development that models are projecting moving closer to the United States over the next 2 weeks or so. So one of those long track forecasts that could carry it close to the United States, but really reliant on that long track forecast that could change as well.
And so this one here, again, that's kind of the cool thing about our system is it'll update automatically as we're going. This one actually with a disturbance, it's all the way in Africa. No development likely over the next 48 hours or so, and it would be closer to the 7-day time period before it really kind of gets in here. National Hurricane Center putting a 20% chance of becoming some kind of named disturbance. We watch almost everything coming off of the African, the deserts, you know, and off of the African continent this time of year because that is where our disturbances come from. They go over the ocean, they go over moisture, and they go.
They build along that warm water threshold because that's what they want. They want the warmth and they want that moisture. So if they have those two things, well, they can definitely build over time. But this one, models, again, carrying it multiple different locations, but as each new model run comes out, that location changes. So one of the things we're watching here over the next week or so is the potential for that development and just where that track has it going. So make sure to keep it here with Mississippi Live Weather for the very latest. And as we walk through the forecast with, or should I say, let's take a look at satellite first. You can kind of see that satellite imagery with that one disturbance that kind of dissolved away. So not seeing anything significant with that 10% chance that we had earlier. And that water vapor still has a few of those isolated showers wrapping around, but overall not going to be a significant storm, not going to be a named storm, but just going to be one of those low pressure centers that provides good chances for rainfall. But here in North Mississippi, we are calm, we are dry for the most part, and we are going to remain right about our seasonable average for temperatures. 85 around 7, 77 closer closer to 10 and 74 as we wrap up the night. So make sure to have that water bottle handy. It is going to be hot and humid, but also have that umbrella handy if you are in the northwest part of our viewing area. Just stay dry and, of course, enjoy your Friday. We'll have much more updates coming tonight at 10 on Mississippi Live Weather. We hope to see you there, and we also hope to see you at what time, Matt?
We're going to be 8:45 there this evening at Romy's Grocery to introduce a very well-known band, and then tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So 8, an important number there. And of course, Mississippi Live Weather app, free and available for all those different devices. You can watch that weather anytime there, right, Gabe?
Anytime, 24/7.
Absolutely. So we'll see you at 10 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully you enjoy these in-depth discussions that we do on days like today, trying to, of course, advance the state of the art and the way we discuss weather. And just thank you so much for supporting us.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. Two milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kids should know.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.